Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Keyframe Zero podcast. Guess what? You know AP, how it stands for Advanced Placement? It doesn't. It stands for our guest, Avery Preston.
Hello, everybody. AP Dog here, otherwise known as Avery Preston. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
I'm John.
This is going to be my favorite intro ever. I'm Mitchell.
And once again, I'm Avery Preston.
So yeah, thanks for coming, Avery.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry. Why? I noticed you're wearing a shirt, ELO.
Are you gonna do that grandpa thing where you're like, name 3 songs from that band to prove that you're wearing the shirt?
We are now.
correctly? Okay,
Yeah.
well, Mr. Blue Sky.
Okay, basic. Just kidding. That's
okay,
cool. No,
that
it's
is-
cool. That's cool.
Diary of Horace Wimp.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Magic. I can keep going. Turn to Stone.
Yeah, keep going. Go.
Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight. That was gonna be my next one.
Evil Woman.
Yeah, Evil Woman.
Yeah.
That's yellow.
Yes.
Yellow. I love Yellow. I saw them
I don't
live.
listen to enough of them. I realize.
Trivia question. What does ELO stand for?
Electric Light Orchestra.
Cool. And
Listen, Jeff Lynne is my Pookie.
Okay.
cool. I like Journey. I just wouldn't wear a Journey shirt normally, but I am
But
today.
now it's your turn. Name
Journey.
3.
Yeah, name 3.
Don't stop believing. Your turn.
You picked 1.
Big
okay.
fan.
No,
big
I'm
fan.
like.
Take the shirt off.
All right, go.
I'm wearing a Boston shirt because Boston's my favorite band, so naturally I could name like every
Journey's
song
not
off
my
of all
favorite
of their
band.
albums.
Again.
But more than
I'm
a feeling,
kidding. I'm not actually mad at him.
more than a feeling, Peace of Mind, Hitch a Ride, Amanda, Don't Look Back, Man I'll Never Be. Avery.
Yeah.
What are the 12 principles of animation? Can you
Rachel?
name them all?
Oh, can I name them all? I'm so glad that you asked. Squash
boy.
and stretch, anticipation, staging, straight ahead and pose to pose, follow through and overlapping action, slow in and then slow out, solid drawing, appeal, timing, exaggeration, arcs, and secondary action. I know them all. I studied really hard for this. Like, I've been prepping.
Bravo. That was great.
Our producer was laughing so much she just had to walk away for a little bit.
You're welcome, Lorelai. That was just for you.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful. So this week we're doing something special. We're going to have some debates. Now, a lot of these debates, we actually have fairly similar opinions on them. So for the sake of learning, we're going to take 2 vehemently different perspectives, 2 different sides of an argument, just so that you can see the benefits of both sides of the arguments and kind of come to the similar conclusion we have, which is usually the answer is somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
All right.
I could be wearing the Linkin Park t-shirt too. That would be kind of fun.
Nah, these are better.
Yeah!
What was that for?
Because I did this.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He's
thought
breaking
you
the
shot
rules.
Avery.
That's the game. Them's the rules. Okay. So, John,
Any way you want it. Open arms. What's separate ways? There you go. That's like 4 or 5. So yeah.
so here's our
Let's
debate
begin.
topic. 2D or CG? Which one should young artists be learning?
Oh, man.
John, which
Okay,
side do you pick?
I'll pick 2D.
CG, baby.
What?
See, it's
I'm so
easy because
surprised.
I'm picking the right answer.
Well, I'm picking the right answer.
I'm getting, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Avery,
Look
I'm going
out.
to let you go first.
Oh, you're gonna let me go first?
Since you're our guest this week.
Oh, I feel special. I'm gonna have to go with CG, especially as of recent with Blender being free and also as like programs like Unreal Engine. The accessibility for young artists to have access to these programs, especially now, is something that like really hasn't been seen in like the past. Like in like the early 2000s to like 90s, you're not gonna see anybody touching like CG like just a 13-year-old. But now 13-year-olds are making like crazy things on Blender. Also with CG, you're gonna learn more technical lingo than you are with 2D. Because you're gonna have to learn and figure out the pipeline along the way. Because especially when you are starting out, you're either gonna be using rigs from other people, gotta figure out how to import all that, or you're going to want to make your own, especially with the younger artists. They love their OCs and everything. So you're figuring out modeling, UVing, and then texturing, and then rigging before you even get to animation. And then from there, if you want to render that out, you got to light it too. So it is like a whole big, like, you're learning the technical literacy of that because you're having to Google along the way, YouTube Academy it. And there's so many tutorials for Blender too, just so you're learning the pipeline. Also, there's a lot of speed to like iteration, especially like, because I took CG2 and 2D2 at the exact same time my sophomore year.
Ooh.
Oh, that's why I became a CG person. Like, I like loved it during that because with 2D2, I enjoy the class. I enjoy like animating and I like drawing, but like just the sheer fact that I was like, when I was working on my 2D2 assignments, I was like, man, if I could just rotate the camera a little bit more this way instead of having to like redraw literally everything, this would be just so amazing and beautiful. But then I like never could, and then I would go back to my CG2 assignments. I'd be like, oh, it's so nice. It's a breath of fresh air.
A breath of fresh air.
Oh, a breath of fresh air, my good sir.
Sorry, I couldn't let that go unnoticed.
And then another thing I've noticed, especially just being a student at Lipscomb, there's a lot of 2D films that are going on right now, and they all need a CG person.
That's very true.
Yes, that it's a lot of more work on the front end. But like when you go down to it and you actually start animating, like you don't like really like you can have animators that aren't that strong at drawing, and you get to skip practically the whole ink and paint process that comes with 2D as well. And like there's not even like having to do like drawing swaps or anything because it's like the 3D model is just right there. It's already pre-textured, it's already UV'd, and it's just after you're done animating, it's ready to be popped into the render of it and be done. Isn't that beautiful, John?
John, what are your
Am
thoughts?
I allowed to respond?
Yes, you are now.
No, I was a Breaking Bad reference. I got to stop doing that. Okay, I hear you. Those are good points. But you know what? I think you're underselling the importance of knowing like the fundamentals, which you just, quite frankly, going the 2D route, it'll give you a better scope of that. You, first of all, you don't just go straight into animating, you know?
Yeah.
Dynamic gestures, that whole class was about gesture drawing, figure drawing, knowing the form, understanding how human bodies work, and not just human bodies, but animals, and whatever you're going to approach from a traditional animations perspective. Getting that right is paramount to creating like a believable final product. And I could like go on about how, you know, if you look at a really well-made animated film, there's a certain charm or quality to it, but I'm not going to do that because it's like that can be like a lot really subjective. No, 3D is cool, and 3D artists are cool. You guys are cool.
The 2D fan base is scary and rabid, though.
See, I just complimented
just
3D
saying.
artists, and then she called us rabid. And,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, this is
I'm just saying, I like my stuff to be in Final Picture, so.
What? Wait. No. Wait. So okay. So are we dragging ink and paint artists in the mud too? Is that what we're doing? We don't think that's important.
I wouldn't say that. I'm just thinking just along the lines of what's more likely getting into like Final Picture a lot of the times.
But yeah, so there's benefits to both.
Yes.
Kind of decide for yourself which one you are more interested in and go from there.
All right. Cut that.
Yeah!
All right, so that was fun. Wasn't that nice discourse going? Let's move on to the next topic. Hand-drawn animation versus rigged animation. Who's for hand-drawn? Let's see. Avery. Who's for rigged? Mitchell. All right, go. Fight.
So real quick, this is also within the context of 2D animation.
Right.
So in the world of 2D animation, there is actual hand-drawn frame-by-frame animation, and there is rigged animation, where you just put all the drawings into one file together, and you can flip between them. That's the difference. I can show examples of that on the screen.
I'm on hand-drawn shockingly.
So hand-drawn will be over here, and rigs will be over here. Okay. So
I'm in charge. I say Mitchell's going first this time.
I say Mitchell goes first.
Defend.
Fine.
Rigs. Go.
So rigs, the nice thing about those is they are extremely convenient. Because instead of having to draw everything over and over, like if you are having to draw, say, a head turn where you're going to be going from this to this, you have a library of those drawings already. So you don't have to hand draw that every single time a character turns his head. You can just have all those head turn images in one place all the time. The other nice thing is it means that your team doesn't need to be as skilled at drawing and be more skilled with just fundamentals of motion. So being an animator doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be good at drawing. It helps a ton. So learn to draw. But if you're needing to get something done quickly and you have a good rigging artist, what you can do is give that rig to animators who just understand the principles of motion, and they can still get some really good animation out of that. So it basically allows you to expand your team and get a lot more done in a lot less time. You just need somebody who's really good at drawing to be creating those character designs. That's what we've been doing a lot of. That is kind of the benefit I see to a lot of rigged animation, is it saves a lot of time on that front and allows production to move much faster. And then you also don't even have an ink and paint process. It's already been inked and painted and colored. So you just need to animate and you're done. Project over. Done.
What?
You're our moderator.
I am. All right. Those are some good points, Mitchell. Avery, defend hand-drawn.
Okay, so as somebody, I consider myself very much a rigged animator. Like, I animate on 2D rigs. And one thing that I've noticed, especially with the 2D rigs, is that there's a lot of limitations when it comes to them. You're not gonna, first things first, when I'm animating like a 2D rig, I feel like I'm constantly having to like snap their joints in half just to get them to be able to do certain things.
Yeah.
There's never enough mouth shapes, so I'm constantly having to draw mouth shapes. There's never enough hand shapes, so I'm constantly having to draw hand shapes. If the character's got cloth on it, then I'm still gonna have to go back and hand draw all of that too, because the bin deformers are never good enough. Sorry, Mitchell. I feel like there's a lot more diversity that does come from hand drawn, especially when it does come from like the different art styles and emotional impact that can come with it. Because there's certain things of like characters that just I feel like they don't work as well rigged. Like it's like certain styles, especially when you're wanting to be like more wispy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot, when you think back on a lot of like movies that have like withstand the test of time, you're normally going to be thinking, especially in the animated field, I'm thinking like Golden Age of Disney, like, oh, Ariel, Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin. And yes, we do have a lot of like good like CG like rigged 2D rigged animation, like Foster's Home for Imaginary like Children.
Friends.
Friends. Yeah, same thing. No, it's not. I don't know. It doesn't have as big of like an impact as something like Anastasia.
That's
like
fair.
when it comes to like the deep thoughts.
But the nice thing about the fact that we have access to both of these, like you were saying, sometimes you do have to go in and draw your own drawings on a rig. And that is a big part of most productions, is at some point you're going to have a hand shape that's like a rigging artist would never have thought that would come up.
Or
So
it just looks clunky when you're like switching between them.
Yeah,
So,
so sometimes you need in between, yeah. But there are a lot of projects that do require both. So a lot of TV shows, and like Light of the World, they said there are a lot of shots that are actually hand-drawn. And the really fun thing is trying to figure out which is which, because they have really good rigs, but they also had 2D artists who were really good at matching styles. So they probably wanted to be more complex with it, but they knew the right way to make everything still feel within the same style, even if they're trying to match two rigs. They learned, what can the rigs do? How can I match my 2D stuff to my hand-drawn stuff to look like that? So it's always a benefit to have both in that sense. But yeah, you're right. I guess you can do a film that's just all hand-drawn. Doing one that's all rigged would be really difficult. I would be down to trying to figure it out, but it would be like the world's most complex rig. I think I don't know who all the rigging artists are. I know Brindley is one of them.
The rigs are good.
Yeah. But who are all the rigging artists?
Well, are we allowed to say their names?
Just don't say their social security numbers and you should be okay.
But
yeah.
It's
Brindley, and then I know a lot of other people have been coming on to do rigs. So Brindley's our main rigger.
Okay.
Maya's been doing some rigs. So is Josiah.
Awesome.
He's like, I can't say that. That's.
Can I consider them like my rigging children?
Yeah, you
Is
can
that
consider
inappropriate?
them
No.
like rigging children.
I don't
'Cause
think
they're
you
like-
should.
There's
Sorry.
like background characters, like a lot of them in like some scenes, and they're doing all of them.
Heck yeah. For a while, I was kind of the go-to guy for that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a cool time. But now we're at a point where I remember Brindley, there was one time I walked in and she was working on some rig, and she had figured out how to connect drawings to a slider, which was something I didn't know you could do.
Oh, I love the slider.
Knowing that now, I've been able to do so many cool things because of that. So I'm only getting better and better at this stuff because I see what Brindley is doing. But I walked in one time and just saw her doing that, and I was like, well, this changes everything.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Hate that movie.
I've never seen it. Avery says she hates it.
I don't hate
How do you
it.
feel, Mitchell?
I like
just-
it.
This whole entire thing. Okay, so when I first watched this movie, I was like, man, I'm watching two terrible people build a relationship built completely off of lies. So the whole entire like concept of how to lose a guy in 10 days is that this one girl, she's writing a magazine article.
Wow, that does sound bad. Mitchell, your turn.
Okay. And on top of that, it's a rom-com. Rom-coms always kind of have a little bit of a silly premise.
Okay.
Now all I'm looking at is John's eyebrows too.
Please don't look at my eyebrows. All right, everyone.
Your eyebrows.
That was a nice spirited discussion about some movies. Who leave a comment who you agree with. Tell us why.
In the
That's been our
comments
show.
below. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for watching, everybody. This is the Keyframe Zero podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Avery Preston. This is Mitchell Clyde, and that's John Willis. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Subscribe, follow everywhere.
We need to stop doing our own outros because that was way better than anything we could have done just now.
Yeah.
Avery's wrong. That movie is awesome.
What?